Excellent. Let's go. All right. Welcome to another episode of Gaia Soars Live. And I am going to be going live on TikTok as well. So if you're watching me on TikTok, say hi, go ahead and tap the screen, show me some likes. And I just want to thank everybody who has joined me on Facebook and on YouTube tonight. So we've got a really heavy, in-depth conversation going on this evening. We're going to be covering this last week's worth of energies, the Roe v. Wade process, and Kevin Samuels' passing. Okay, hey Sage. And so we are talking about all of that this week because it does play into the Ascension process. There have been many tower moments happening this week for people. So I just want to go ahead and allow a couple of people to hop on. Sage, go ahead and share this with a couple of people. I want to thank you for joining the live. And what I want to do before we get started is I want to light a little bit of sage. Hold on one second. All right, great. What we're going to do is go ahead and clear the air. We have had some super intense energies this week, and I want to go ahead and address them about what's going on. All right, so go ahead, sage my TikTok feed, sage my Facebook feed, and my YouTube feed. All right, great. Now that we got that set up, I'm going to go ahead and call in the archangels and ask them to hold the space for this podcast as we go live so that we can channel the information that is necessary to get out to the collective. We are in a time of a great awakening, and there is massive collective shadow work being done by the planet, and it is being shown in all different manners through all different media outlets and in the way that the earth is reacting. So I just want you to take a deep breath with me now. Breathe into your body and exhale. Inhale into your heart space, and I want you to bring in all the light in the universe, all the love in your heart, and all of the peace that you are wanting to grow in your life. And then I want you to exhale all the bullshit. Everything that doesn't have anything to do with you, everything that is not related to your purpose, your path, how you're going on through life, and what you need to be secure, happy, and safe in this time span, in this timeline, in this event. Okay, so we are, that's okay, Sage. Thank you so much for trying to share it. All right, so now that we've had just a few minutes of some calming, deep centering breaths, let's dive into the meat and potatoes of this week. So this week we had Roe v. Wade leak, right? We had Kevin Samuels pass away. And if you were on my TikTok, we had lots and lots of women who were experiencing womb pain, even if they weren't on their cycle or they were having their cycle, okay? And for me, the theme for the Ascension is this: the feminine is rising, right? Why is that important? Because women and children have been the disenfranchised participants of our world for over 2,000 years, okay? We have been the main commodity of product for slave trade and for all types of trafficking and all manner of disrespect to our great mother, Gaia. Okay, my podcast is called Gaia Soars for a reason, because Gaia is ascending with us. As we ascend, so does she ascend. Why? Because as above, so below, as within, so without. Our planet is vibrating at a higher level, and because she is vibrating at a higher level, we are also vibrating with her. But what does that mean? This Roe v. Wade leak was not a mistake, okay? The goddess, our mother, she knows because she's part of the process. She knows that that does not serve any of her children. She knows it doesn't serve any of our children. And so therefore, what she went ahead and did was orchestrate all manners of items to correct some of the things that she does not feel are in alignment with where we are going forward right now. All right. And that has been shown, in my opinion, through some of the convenient deaths that have happened this week. All right. And oftentimes we don't see it. We don't connect all of the dots the way that our spiritual high powers do. They have a global view of everything. We only have our minuscule in-person viewpoints of things. Now, the reason that I feel like all of these things are connected is because we have recently had a lunar node shift. And I'm not going to go too deep into the astrology about it because I tend to lose people when I do that. But in this lunar shift of the lunar nodes, we went into the nodes of Scorpio and Taurus. Right now we have the sun in Taurus, and we still also have the node is in Taurus. Now, Taurus deals with land, money, luxury, feeling safe, secure, and bodily autonomy. Okay? Scorpio deals with things that are being done in the dark, all manner of death and sex issues, and sex trafficking and trafficking of women falls under that category. And then it also has to do with things that are being done in the dark coming to light. Okay. In addition to that, we have an eclipse portal in process. That eclipse will close on the full solar eclipse, which I believe is next week on the 16th. And also, retrograde season has begun. We are in Neptune retrograde. I do believe Pluto's retrograde, and we are in the shadow of a Mercury retrograde, meaning there are so many communication issues bobbling up in order for people to revise, reset, and review what is happening in their lives. Okay? So if you take that overall concept from the astrology and you look at it from a place of shadow work for the collective, you will see that it has come to the forefront for us to deal with issues around property, issues around sex, issues around our children and our women being stolen, trafficked, hurt, and harmed, and all the laws that go into that are part of our patriarchal society that are now disenfranchising, are working to disenfranchise even further our normal inhabitants. Okay, so that is a brief overview of what's been going on in the astrology and how it's playing out in the news. Now, let's shift to the situation with Kevin Samuels. The Kevin Samuels situation is pure karma. It's pure karma. I don't have any other way for it to say, because I took the day off when it happened, and I got a message from someone that said, this gentleman passed away, and I said, the mother has spoken. The disrespect to brown, black, indigenous women and children will no longer be tolerated on a global and energetic scale. And the new Earth rising, this global ascension process, has to do with poking the bear. All right, we have to poke the bear in order for people to get the reaction so that they will rise up, so that there will be a revolution, so that people will speak, so that they will argue, so that they will fight for their rights, so that they will realize that as a people, we are stronger than our leaders. But it's our complacency, our apathy, our pointing fingers at others. That's what causes for there to be a lack of forward movement. Okay? The infighting is part of the overall plan to keep people subdued. You have to understand your directive from in your heart space. You have to be getting this information not from external sources. You have to be getting it from internal sources so that you are not navigating down the wrong path. Okay. And some people will be like, there is no right or wrong path. Okay, that's true. But there's a wrong path for you. Okay. And if you're navigating down your wrong path, you're not going to have a good time. So a lot of people have been getting messages this week about timeline corrections, course corrections in their life. They've had just a slew of unfortunate events happen to them. All of that ties into the upcoming Mercury retrograde, the closing solar eclipse portal, and what you need to do to clear up what's happening in your life. If your whole world fell apart this week, that's good. You're early, right? The retro doesn't start till next week. So if it's fell apart this week, this is a wake up from the universe to tell you, hey, look, these are the areas that you need to address. Hi, Regina, by the way. I'm sorry, I haven't said hi to anybody. These are the areas that you need to address so that you can then help yourself take care of what needs to be taken care of, okay? Instead of looking at shit that goes bad happening in your life as if it's a disaster and someone is out to get you, recognize it as a message from the universe to tell you, oh, this is the area I need to focus on. This is the area I need to focus on. This is the area I need to focus on. This is the area I need to focus on. Why? Because oftentimes you have got lost in the sauce and forgotten what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Why? Because life is crazy right now. Life is crazy right now. Whoever hopped on, say hi, because I can't see you and I don't know who you are, but I appreciate you being here. So that's the important thing for you to understand right now. If your life is crumbling, let it crumble. Number one, okay? Let it crumble, right? Because the universe is divesting you of things that are not going to allow you to move forward the way you want to. Hi, Kizzy. Thank you for hopping on live with me today. What we're doing is talking about Gaia Soars, the podcast, and we're having a brief discussion on what has been happening in the news and the current energy. All right? Hi, Mary. Hi, Kimberly. No worries, Kimberly. Thanks for hopping on. You know, you can catch the replay later. So I just wanted to tell you guys, you know, that's really important. If your world is crumbling right now, you don't know what's going on, you don't know why everything is falling apart, let it fall. Let it fall. This eclipse right now is dragging people through the muck on so many levels. And it has to do with your physical health also. So if your physical health failed this week, that's okay. You didn't do anything wrong, but you do need to take a different look. Oh, I need the Sage. I just realized your name is Kimberly. Yeah. Hi, Jersey. So what you want to do is you want to take a look at why is your health failing? Like, what are the things that are going wrong? What did you do in the last 6 months? Okay. So this is important. Everything that you're seeing happening right now started percolating in the ether around October, November of last year. Okay. And anything that you haven't fixed yet, now's the time to dig in and do more fine tuning. I know you might be like, yeah, I already did that. I already did that part. I did that part. But trust me when I tell you, there's something that you missed, and it might be something minuscule. It might be minor, okay? Like super minor. And so I just want you to recognize that that is what's happening. For instance, let me give you the example for myself, because I had a shit week health-wise. I had an allergic reaction last week. I had to go to the emergency room. And then I had a secondary allergic reaction this week. And every day this week, I've woken up and my upper lip has still been swollen, right? So I was like, what is going on? I usually am pretty good about these things, right? But come to find out, increased chemical sensitivities, an inability to use chemicals any longer. Like, I have to go back to what I was doing prior, strip my body of any of the chemicals that I put into it, and then slowly start adding back in things to see how it's going to affect me. Okay? Super important. Ooh, my internet's acting up. Hold on. I hope we don't have a thunderstorm. So, all right, so that's important. You guys want to be listening, to your body, because your body is going to be telling you, something's wrong. Pay attention to this. I had a headache for like 2 weeks, and I was just like, oh, I don't know why I have a headache, blah, blah, blah. It was my thyroid medicine. It was my thyroid medicine. My thyroid medicine had my blood pressure so freaking high. And then I had another medicine that I was on that was making me swell from the inside out. Like, I just didn't understand it because I've never had those reactions before. Okay. So oftentimes these reactions will be brand new to you, and you're not going to be ready, right? You're not ready. So you need to just pause and don't panic and recognize that something else is going on. Okay. Something else is going on, and there's something that I need to address. And let's look at my symptoms and reverse engineer from there what it is that I want to actually have happen. Okay. So that's the boom. So we've talked now about the Eclipse Portal. We've talked about Kevin Samuels being. I feel like the Kevin Samuels thing is a bookend to the everybody having period cramps. Okay, because everyone that took my poll on TikTok, it was a 50-50 split, half on, half off. But even people who were off their cycle had cramps in their womb space. People with no uteruses had cramps in their womb space. Okay, men had cramping in their womb space because men do have a womb space. It's energetic. Okay, and so this speaks to the desperate need for our planet to heal sexual trauma on the side of men and women. I watched something today where a guy said that he lost his virginity at 13 years of age, and everybody applauded him for that. And a young woman said she lost her virginity at 17, and they were like, oh, what were you, a good girl? Really? Why are we applauding children having sex that young and then wonder why we have teen pregnancies? There is a culture in the United States that is extremely unhealthy, that feels that it's okay to congratulate young men on their abuse and denigrate women on the same thing. That doesn't make sense at all. Both of those children are being abused. There's no reason for you to be losing your virginity at 13 years old. Why are you even doing that? Why are you doing that? Who told you that was good for you? Who told you that it was healthy for you to be entangling your energy with someone else when you don't even know how to fucking wipe your ass and take a shower properly? Like, what's going on with that? So there's a lot of things that are now, as you're seeing them come up in the news, they're coming up to be addressed. They're not coming up for us to point fingers at each other and go, you did this. Oh, you white women, we black people told you for the last 50 years to not be so conservative with your vote on abortion, and now we're going to lose abortion because you didn't listen to us. That's a waste of time. I understand where people are coming from with that, but that is a waste of time, because the finger pointing is what has kept all of us lost in the sauce for hundreds of thousands of years. Like, how much longer are you willing to keep pointing fingers instead of actually actively doing something to help yourself? You may not be doing it for anybody else, but you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your children, and you're doing it for the generation after you. But at a minimum, do something for yourself. Does that make sense? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand this complacency of, oh, we're not going to do anything about it because it doesn't concern us and we're still going to die. Look, everybody on this planet is going to die at some point anyway. That doesn't mean that we don't do anything while we're here. I can't get behind that sort of complacency, and I just want to really speak on it, because women and children are dying every day while you're being freaking complacent. The minimum you could do is get behind and talk to your legislature and know who the hell's in office on a local level so that you can make some choices. People don't understand how our freaking judicial system works and want to point fingers at the top when in their complacency, they haven't done the bare minimum to have some sort of effort be made. We have a young lady right now on TikTok. Her name is Jasmine Sherman. Her name's the Fat Socialist. God bless her. People have been naysaying her because they're like, well, that's not going to work. Well, why don't you get behind her and see if it will? Let's try something new. Let's just try something new. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Nikki. It's so good to see you. So I just really want people to stop with the complacent conversation. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I can't change anything. Well, then please die today. Just go ahead and just give up. Just give up. Because when you say that, you're giving up and you're not in the energy of change. You're not in the energy of forward progress, and you're not in the energy of this new earth rising where the mother will not tolerate any further fucking disrespect. Now, it's always sad when a black person in America dies, but I find it fascinating that a black person whose whole platform was built at denigrating black women happened to pass not 4 or 5 days after a whole full body cramp, a whole earth body cramp, a collective cramp. Okay, now what have they been talking about recently on TikTok? Period cramps are just as strong, if not stronger, than heart attacks. And what did that man pass away from? If I'm not mistaken, it was a heart attack. Okay? I am not going to say they're not related. I'm going to say they're related. I'm going to say the mother knows exactly what the hell she's doing. I'm going to say the mother was like, enough is enough. And she plucked the head of a putrid pile to let it fall apart. The end. I don't wish death on anybody, but I believe in divine justice. God is a black woman, period. The end. Why would they hurt so many black women and children if she was not? What are you hiding? What are you trying to keep down? It's in us. It's in the black women. It's in the black children. It's in the indigenous children, because we have the truths. We have the truths of our past lineage, of our power, of the way out of this mess in our DNA. You can't shake it, you can't lose it, but you can beat it out of people. You can fearmonger it out of people. You can force the forgetting because the trauma is so deep. You can force that. What you cannot do is strip it, remove it, take it away from us. All you can do is body people. And people who don't realize that Roe v. Wade is the only thing that has been kept from legal bodying of us. It will become legal to body us if Roe falls. Period. It will be legal. I'm saying it now. Remember this, okay? This has been a topic of conversation my entire life. My entire life. My mom, who is a very devout Christian woman, is very much pro-choice. Very much pro-choice. Okay? Because pro-choice just means pro-human. You are pro people doing what's best for them. You are pro not leaving women stuck with children and decreasing their quality of life. You are pro making sure that those children are not raised by people who don't want them. You are pro making sure that kids are safe with people who care. They're not just chattel and things to be marketed and played off of and entertained on and sold off. It's insane. It's insane. And what's worse, what's absolutely worse, is that it's in all of the TVs. It's in all of the movies. It's in all of the freaking stuff that you watch. All the things that are wrong with our society are in a movie. You can watch them. They have told us what they are doing. But people are like, it's just a joke. We're just joking in the name of bullying. We're just joking in the name of people dying. We're just joking in the name of kids going missing. These are not jokes. And I feel that very importantly in the upcoming times, we're going to see that this conversation about things being a joke, it's already been talked about. When people say, ha ha, LOL, nah, man, say that shit with your whole chest. Say it with your whole chest. Don't laugh. I said what I said and I meant it. The time for all of this conversation where people are not telling the truth, where they're speaking social niceties. Like, don't ask me how I am just because you want to further yourself on something that you're networking. Just tell me, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. I'm doing this thing. Would you be interested in coming out for it? Can we stop that shit? You don't care how I am. You don't care how I am. You want me to participate in your event. Just say that. Just say that. I am tired of the mental gymnastics. The whole world is tired of the mental gymnastic. Why are we still clocking into a 9 to 5 every day like the world is not freaking melting? It is. And the sooner that we stop getting on the freaking train to Melttown, the sooner it melts. The only way for this to improve is for the whole shit to burn down. There's no other way for it to happen. People keep wanting to argue about systems and fuck all of it. Fuck all of it. None of it is working. We have had 2,000 years since Jesus, okay? 2,000 years since Jesus, and this is what we got today? He would be embarrassed. Because I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed, okay? So, and the goddess is embarrassed too. She's not with the shits no more. She's not. People want to think that Gaia is just this beautiful, flowy Disney dryad. No. No, she is Pele. She is the heart of fire. She is lava. She is snowstorms. She is thunderstorms. She is hurricanes. She is destruction. And you need destruction in order to have fertile earth, to sow a new horizon, to start a new life. That's how that works. Stop crying about the destruction of the system that is holding its neck on its foot on your neck. I don't understand. This system is literally George Floyding all of us. And y'all can't even say you can't breathe. You just want to be like, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. I love my capitalism. Yeah, this cycle of karma is coming to a swift balancing. Okay, the time for the balance is now, and for you to go where you gotta go, you have to narrow in your focus, and you have to understand what your purpose in life is, what you're doing, where you're going, and how to get there. You need to work on your mental health because depression is the order of the day. It's impossible not to be depressed in these times. It's impossible. If you look at everything, you're going to lose your mind. Okay? So you want to just focus inward and find community that is doing what it is that you need it to do. That's what you need to do. All right? You need to align yourself with coaches and healers and people in the spiritual community because they have a better ear to what's happening with the planet itself and how that can help shake out what's going on with everybody else. And it's difficult. Everything is difficult right now. Nothing is meant to really be easy. Because guess what? When things are easy, you're not willing to fucking do a thing. The complacency comes from comfort. There is no growth inside of your comfort zone. Okay? And the same goes for our planet. There is no growth in her comfort zone. So you're seeing discomfort all over the planet. Today alone in Florida, it was 102 degrees in May. In May. It's never that hot this early. But yet we're going to say that there's nothing going on with the climate, right? Okay, sure. Fine. No problem. No problem. Women aren't going missing. Okay, sure, fine. Look, These things have to be addressed, but they have to be addressed in here, at home, with you, with the things that you're doing. You need to be aware of what is your state legislature doing? What is your local legislature doing? What are you doing in your own damn house? What is happening with your health? What's going on at your kid's school? What's happening with your own spiritual connection? Do you have one? Because if you don't, get one. It's time. It's time. Okay? I've got a shadow work course on my website right now that you can get. It's 7 videos. It teaches you basic shadow work, and it helps you start looking at yourself and where you're not happy and why you're not going where you need to go. Click the link in my bio. Check it out. That might be for you, okay? But you have to start in here. Decolonize your heart. Decolonize your heart, because what's happening in your heart is directly affecting outside, and we don't need any more unhealed, hurt, harmful individuals running around having more children unbeknownst and unaware of the trajectory, okay? Those kids don't deserve your lack of awareness. And they don't owe you shit either, by the way. Okay? Your kids don't owe you shit. They didn't ask you to bring them. They might have signed a soul contract that said that you'd be okay for whatever lesson they needed to learn. But it's not for you to sit there and hurt them in the process. Okay? So, this is not going to be an extensive live on YouTube. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up Gaia Soars for tonight, and I'm going to shift over to TikTok. So if you guys want to keep chatting with me, catch me on TikTok live. I'll be here for about an hour or so. But this has been another episode of Gaia Soars, guys. This is a warning episode. Mercury retrograde is coming. Block your exes. Yo, block them. Block your ex-friends, block your ex-boyfriends, block your ex-family members, block them. You don't want nothing to do with that. We are not boomeranging backwards. Don't speak to people that you already put out your life. If anybody acts crazy or pops off, block them and move on. Like, we're not doing that, okay? If you're in an abusive relationship, a domestic violence situation, and you feel like you got nowhere to go, you need to get your ass to a shelter. You need to call somebody, please. Please, 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 please. This summer will not be easy. All right? The summer will not be easy. There will be a lot more violence in the news. There's going to be a lot more people dying. A lot more. Okay? If you're not choosing to help elevate, you're not going to make it. If you're choosing to elevate, you're going to be attacked, because your frequency, your vibration, your joy, your glow, that is not what we want. We want people who are tired and stressed and focused on the wrong thing, right? So if you're not, people are going to be looking at you funny. They're going to try to come for you. You need to be aware that you are the light right now. It might have been horrible. It might have been hard. You might have been choking. You might not feel like you're going to make it. But if that's happening to you, you are the light in the darkness right now. And it is important for you to keep your light well nourished. You need to care for yourself. You need to care for your mental health. You need to take breaks from social media. You need to not do any activism work if you can't do activism work. Do what you can that is healthy for you. Just don't do nothing. Okay? That's it. That's what I'm going to ask of you. Just don't do nothing. Do something. Okay? That's it. I'm Kimrâh Minuty. I'm going to wrap up another great show of Gaia Soars. This will be on YouTube, and it will go out on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts coming up here in the next couple of days. If you would like to catch my Shadow Work to Shadow Play live course, not live, recorded course, you can go to www.kimrahminuty.com and grab yourself a copy of that. And I hope that you all have a wonderful and blessed evening. Block your exes.